that good, Thomas? Yeah, that's perfect. Can you hear me? So glad to be here.
Spence, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here too, Carly.
Thanks for joining my couch and my
I love this couch.
little...
Yeah, I read that as we were setting up, you know. I do actually have an idea because I don't drink coffee.
Do you drink caffeine?
I mean, sort of, yeah, but not like coffee. I do green tea, which is really good for you.
Okay.
I love tea.
So
I love tea time.
Tea time.
But
like golfing?
I've tried coffee so many times, Carly. I've tried to like it. It looks cool. It is the hip thing to like.
Do you like the way it smells?
I do. I love going to coffee houses, coffee shops,
and not ordering
cafes, all of them. But I'll just get a hot chocolate. But I'll sit close to the grinder thing.
To smell it.
And then the Ninja, all that stuff. But I'm going to have a hot chocolate or a tea.
Hot chocolate. Okay.
It's the taste. It's too...
Does Ashton like coffee?
She, a little bit. Not as much as me.
I was going to say,
she's on the hot chocolate side with me. So
oh, okay. Is that why it works out with
the great thing is that, like, when we start having our budget...
Oh, it's answering my question.
When we start having our budget talks...
Y'all have budget talks?
Well, when we're going to, you have to get ready for everything, for life.
Do you have a hot chocolate budget?
Well, no, it's not the hot chocolate budget. It's the coffee budget, which will be zero because we don't invest in that. Unlike most other people who are losing so much money.
The fact that we're talking about time today,
don't you think it's a waste of time not money.
To have a budget of zero when you could be working on a budget that has dollars in it?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of time, we probably should get into the topic.
So I wanted to talk about time with Spencer because if there's anyone that I know that can pack something into a day, and I don't just mean like socially, because Spence, you don't like... Spencer has specific times for things. Spencer has nap time. Spencer has... self-time.
Yes.
Spencer had, and it's like, it'll get, like, I get irritated because I'm like, I don't
like
have time to
robot.
take a nap.
I'm
You are, but it's because you find the importance of it and you know what's important to you, and so you make time for the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
And if having rest in the middle of the day when you know you need it is important, I think that's wonderful. Yeah. It's knowing yourself, knowing, kind of like your limits. But there's also things that Spencer gives time to that I want people to know, like he goes home and does things in his own time, in his personal time that you may not even know about. Like the one thing I'm thinking of is you were like self-taught on the bass. Yeah. And I understand that was a while back, but I just remember even mentioning it to you before, like I think we were doing like the personality test, like the colors, and we chose colors and we had to say like why we chose certain colors. And I like nailed it on the head, but everyone else was wrong.
Yeah, everybody else is wrong.
Everyone, I don't remember what the colors meant.
To most people, I come off like a social butterfly like you, where I just want to party, have a great time.
Party with Car.
But there is also a very, very rigid part of me, sometimes too much, that makes me super extreme on myself. And I actually have to pay for it because I can put too much pressure on myself. But like, so I go in a lot of phases, like bass, I learned the basics of it. It's fun, it's something I enjoyed. I've tried acoustic. I'm now painting Dungeons and Dragons miniatures.
Can you please send us a picture so we can like put it up on the screen?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so right now, look on the screen.
You're looking at the green dragon I painted. It's a legendary icon. And
Spencer,
now
how old are you?
You're looking at the owl bear. Yeah, I painted that.
How old are you? Right now?
I'm 24.
24 years old and the man's painting at home. Like, what?
Are you saying that's too young of me or too old of me? Am I being a kid or am I being an old man?
That's great.
I am an old man trapped inside of this body. But, so yeah, time is a big thing. I really, I can destroy myself so many times because I'm so mad at how I didn't honor the time I had today. Like that is a huge thing. I write down all these plans. This is what I'm gonna do today.
Do you really?
And if I miss one, the rest of the day collapses.
Really?
It's like relapse. If you have one cigarette, you might as well have the whole pack. That's what happens in your brain. It's relapse.
Yes.
And the same thing happens.
Oh my gosh, you're helping me right now so much. Not with cigarettes, but yes.
No.
No,
I was smelling something. I knew it wasn't coffee.
It was my coffee breath. Cigarettes and coffee on the couch with Carly.
God.
Having a conversation.
In the church building.
We're just kidding. Go ahead. No, but no, truly, like that, like, I will miss, especially with like, okay, my hair is stuck. Especially with like reading my Bible, if I miss one day, I'll miss a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh, absolutely.
No problem.
I missed it, cut it off. The same thing with food. If I'm gonna eat one bad thing today, or if I go
start over on Monday
I might
when
as
it's
well
Monday.
get 20 cookies tonight.
Yes.
And then be better
What
a
is
week
that?
from now. It is called relapse. It's literally like once you mess up a little, it makes you just, everything tumbles over. That one domino, it makes everything relating to that action.
Oh my word.
It's tough.
I'm an addict.
So I've been working on that a lot, and there's a lot of ways to fix that. One book I recommend is Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
It is like the most relevant, recent, super good, practical, like they're wanting you to write out plans, and they go into psychology, which
that's so draining to me.
it's so good.
It is good.
It is good, and it helps you become a better you. But at the same time, speaking about time, everybody, we all just, this is where the extremist part of me comes in, and I have to just say back to it, just chill. Calm down. You missed an event. You overate. You spent too much time gaming or watching Netflix. It's okay. There will be another hour.
Right.
There will be another day. And
Wow.
we can waste more time guilting
Worrying
ourselves about the time we just wasted.
Wasting more time doing that.
It's just a bad cycle that you have to break. You got to learn how to say, I messed up. Let me get back right on. It applies to every part of life.
Absolutely.
But especially on time. And so, yeah, I'm a big time planner. I've gone on vacation with you before. And unlike my family, y'all like to plan dinners when we're driving to the restaurant. And that drives me insane. I was like 12, 13, calling my parents at like 9 a.m. saying, Mom, Dad, they don't know where they want to go for dinner. What do we
9 a.m. a.m.
I still fight that. It's a struggle, but so yeah, there's.
Well, and to your point, there was a lot of people in the house, and so you were used to like that kind of environment, and so you're providing for a lot of people. You got to have a little bit of a plan.
Yeah.
But at 12 years old, you weren't making the meals for anyone. It was just you wanted to know the plan.
It really, it's not like I had any control.
Or wanted it. You just wanted to know what was happening.
Yeah.
And that's you. You just want to know what's happening.
And that's me today. I cannot flow. It is so hard. I have to plan to flow. Like today I'm gonna
flowing right
flow.
now.
Yeah, we're flowing right now. So
thank you, COVID-19.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID-19 though, if there's anything we're all dealing with, it's learning how to reassess our time.
Oh, for sure.
Like many of us are having to stay home with families. There's a few of us still working out here, but like everybody's schedule's been affected, their sleep schedule, their family time, their work time, their school time, friend time. Like, what do? We can't go to restaurants.
Social distancing, we're
like
Americans.
all the foodies, what do we do?
Yeah.
We're gonna DoorDash everything or something. I don't know. But
what does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible say
about?
The
Bible says a lot. I got like 5 parts that the Bible mentions time. But there's a few lessons. First off, the Lord wills, period. The Lord wills, W-I-L-L-S, not wheels. The Lord wills, and the Lord provides. And we're gonna go off of those 2 lessons, I think. So let me see. If we'll go to James, actually. We'll start with that one, because James is really strong.
Oh, I like James.
I think I lost the section, so.
I wanna even say, like, while you're
part.
flipping, no, you're good. I wanna, like, while you're flipping, I like grammar, like nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, speaking correctly. I just enjoy it. And when you say the Lord wills, that's the verb. So it's like there is an action that the Lord is doing right there, providing the noun will to your life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So it's he provides, which it makes sense, provision, he provides, but he wills, he gives us something from him. A will for our life.
Right. That's so true. And so where I get that is really from James 4. This is a very practical book of the Bible. It's about faith and works, how the fruits point to your faith. And how it's all, where people...
James 4 what?
We all believe 4:13. We'll go to James 4:13.
Okay.
We all believe that we're saved by faith, but our works show that we are saved.
Okay.
So it's not working to be saved, and this is where that confusion happens. Like Luther in the 1500s, who was all about faith alone, wanted to rip this book out of the Bible.
Luther, that man.
Yeah. He made a lot of good changes and then a lot of bad things too. But I digress. So James 4:13 says, "Come now, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit. Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, first a vapor. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that." I think that's the biggest passage to focus on in this element is that, so if the Lord wills. So when we take that in, last week, people had plans to go to Europe. I had plans to go to Europe a few months later. We had all these different meetings scheduled here. We were planning Easter anniversary service. All those things got totally canceled, postponed. I mean, Easter isn't canceled, but everything got postponed, changed. It's happening to all of our schedules. School's being canceled for 2 weeks. It's hitting all of us. And so that's where James is telling us, this is proof
Right.
that you can't expect everything to happen the way you want it to happen tomorrow. And that's a big lesson for me, is that it's okay for me to plan, but it's not okay for me to expect that plan to work tomorrow. That's where I always fall short, is that I'm so excited with expectations of what my day is going to look like tomorrow and how it's going tomorrow, that when it falls just a little short of that,
you completely feel unsuccessful.
I feel unsuccessful.
Wow.
And so you have to realize, plan your days, it's okay. Do not expect them to happen the way you plan it. Like, that is such a big, big, big thing. And so, I mean, James is saying, you're just a vapor.
Here and gone.
Like, here and there, gone. But we're dealing with a God who's in the past, who is in the present,
right,
who is in the future. We can't even comprehend how he's just beyond time. An eternal
so then,
God.
If he's beyond time, like, whatever's happening right now in our world, how can we provide encouragement to anyone that's listening to this or watching this, that's like saying, what is my life going to look like? Because we may be having plans, like in verse 13 of, today, tomorrow, we're going to travel somewhere, or we have plans to do something. We have things we're going to execute.
Yeah.
But because this thing has come and changed everything, we have to sort of re-plan what our plan was.
Yeah, so that is a good question. What is our life going to look like? I'd say the same. It's going to be different, naturally. But do the same thing you were doing. Whatever it is, don't stop. Don't stop. It's like when we quoted C.S. Lewis this past week and when Pastor Scott spoke. Let that bomb find us doing the things we enjoy. And for us, it's let coronavirus, let the quarantine, let any of these troubles find us doing what we love doing.
Right.
Praying to God, doing the things we're passionate about, doing our jobs, being with our family. Let it find us doing that, because the Lord wills. We're going to plan our day, but we always need to say, Lord willing, this is my day. But if we can trust God, He has the authority, but we have to allow Him to say, God, you are in control as well. Now, and then the other part is where before I get into that, so in Ephesians, which you have that passage ready, I think.
Nope, I flipped to James.
Oh, you're good. It's Ephesians 3 or 4?
Oh, I just flipped to it like that.
Is it 4? So Paul talks for a second about time, because he's telling us you got to make the most of it. And so first off, my encouragement to you is don't fret. You're going to be able to sleep tonight. Enjoy your day. Do what you love doing. You're going to have to make some changes because of the circumstances, but do what you love doing. Find new ways. We're all having to reinvent how we live life.
Right.
Let's do it the way we like to do it.
Right.
I'm excited. This is an exciting time to see how creative the church can get and the church families and young adults can get in coming up with new things to do. So in Ephesians, Paul talks about time, if you don't mind reading that passage.
What was it for? What? Do you remember?
I had it marked down for... See, this is why I need to memorize the Bible. It is 5:15.
Oh, 5:15.
Yeah.
Okay, Ephesians 5:15. Pay careful attention then to how you live, not as unwise people, but as wise, making the most of the time because the days are evil. So don't be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is.
Mm-hmm. So that passage right there, he's telling us, like, don't be afraid of your time. Like, put that and James together. Don't be afraid of your time, but don't put all your weight in it either. And then Paul's saying, yo, you got to go all in with your time. Make the most of your time. You sleep about, 6 to 8 hours a night. What are you going to do with the rest of the hours? Yeah, some of us. Some of us are less, and some of us are way more, especially when I took my naps. But like, what are you going to do with your time? How are you going to make the most of it?
Right.
And I love in Proverbs, it just says, look to the ant, you sluggard. Look how it prepares, it stores up, it never stops working in preparation for the next season. For the next season. What are we doing to prepare for the season after COVID passes?
Sure.
You know, what are we doing to get ready for that?
Right, because it's not just needing to stock up on things, literally stock up on things right now, but stocking up on what is life going to look like beyond this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we need to be calm and knowing we can't put all our weight in a day. We can make the most of it, but we can't lean on our expectations. That is for sure. If the Lord wills. And the last part is that the Lord provides. We can go into our every single day trusting that God will provide, because Jesus says in Matthew 6, I believe, he talks about look to the birds. They don't store up food. They don't hibernate. They don't bank up all of their provisions. They go off of what they're fed every single day.
Wow.
And then he says, how much more valuable are you than they? Do you not think the Father will take care of you?
That's so good. That's so comforting.
Yeah, so know that what you plan in a day is not always going to work out, but God's going to provide.
Right.
God's going to make a way. He's going to use you.
Right.
That flat tire might lead you to leading somebody else to Jesus. Something is going to happen. There's going to be a bump in the road.
Right.
But there is some way that God's going to be able to drop in more provision for you.
Right.
So.
And just, I would just say to add like one small thing is, and as you're experiencing the flat tire or whatever it is, you just have to keep a good attitude.
Yeah.
As much as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Because what if that opportunity does present itself and you're able to represent Christ?
Yeah.
And able to, I mean, sure, maybe you're doing that for someone else and spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, but also have a good attitude for yourself, because you deserve to be happy.
Absolutely.
You deserve to have joy, and to not let any small thing or big thing, it may create a bump, like you said, but don't let the one bad thing happen and then you let all the other bad things happen, just like what you were saying. It goes back to the beginning, what we said, it's relapse.
Right.
Wow.
This is a huge lesson for me. Your biggest enemy is you. You are your biggest enemy. You're going to guilt yourself. You're going to put that pressure on yourself more than anybody else could to you. And so now we've got to learn to take off that pressure, take off that guilt. We're going to get through this day. Whether I followed all of my plans, I'm going to make the most of this day, because the Lord provides and the Lord wills.
So good. Thanks, Spence.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. On my little couch.
Yeah, it's really a vibey couch.
Yeah, we're kind of sitting similarly too.
Yeah. Didn't mean to reflect. Yeah. We're cousins, by the way, so that's why we're like this. But